I bought this car right here that I'm driving off of Carvana. Been thinking about giving them a try, but not sure if it's right for you. In this video, I'm going to talk about my experience and what the first 6 months of driving a Carvana car have been like. Hello and welcome to another edition of Grease Monkey Gab, random thoughts of an aircraft mechanic from the commute. My regular viewers will know that I started this series driving a Chevy Colorado pickup truck. But my commute can be over an hour long, and doing so in that got kind of expensive. So I started looking around for a commuter car. And where I work, all-wheel drive is a must. And because I missed having one, I really wanted another stick shift car. I was looking around locally for a bit and just couldn't really find what I wanted, and a friend of mine suggested looking at Carvana. Carvana? Whatever. Now, having the criteria of all-wheel drive and stick, your options are kind of limited. But sure enough, I go on their website and here's this, 2015 Subaru Impreza, ticks all the boxes and has under 60,000 miles on it. Man, who would have thought? Well, that also came with a premium price, but we'll talk more about that later. But what was the experience actually like? Well, there's definitely some pros and cons if you want to go the Carvana way. So first up with the pros, well, they've got a huge selection of cars from all over the country. It's not just what's, immediately around your local area. Some cars have free delivery, some you have to pay for. All of that is pretty upfront when you're looking. But in my case, I wanted very specific features and they had it. The options in my area were, let's just say they lived up to the name beater car. Or they were the same price as this was and much, much more mileage. Another pro is, well, the car's delivered to you. You do everything online, even the notary stuff, and the car comes on a truck right to you. Well, my kid kind of loved that. I mean, you schedule a date and time and, kind of like the cable guy, they give you a window and they're pretty good about keeping that. And unlike a dealership, even though, in my opinion, their prices may be higher than some other options, they are upfront about it. As you go through the purchase process, everything is spelled out for you. And unlike many used car dealers, if for some reason there's some kind of issue with the car or you don't like it or whatever, there is a 7-day, I guess we'll call it a money back guarantee, where you could exchange it for another one of their vehicles, or they give you your money back and you start your search all over again. Now, the cons of going this route is, well, you can't see the car in person. They do a pretty good job of getting a lot of pictures and, they get some kind of 360 view. There's inside and out and you can kind of pan it around, but you really don't get a feel for what kind of condition the car is in. You can't really look under the hood and look at things. You can't look for impact damage or rust, or honestly, the pictures aren't even good enough to tell how good the tires are. Another con is that upfront pricing we talked about. Well, it's no haggle. If you do see something wrong, you're locked in. I mean, once again, they make a pretty good effort of noticing any defects or cosmetic issues, any scratches, but they didn't find everything. Now, another con of that is once you pick your car and you have your pricing, and now you have to pay for it. You can pay straight up from your checking account, or you can use basically their one and only finance option. I don't know if they're the same company or what the case is. Carvana handles their financing through a company called Bridgecrest. And now I was pre-approved through another lender that I've used regularly in the past. And in this day and age with inflation and high interest rates, their lender was 2 percentage points higher than the one that I was approved for. And that makes a difference over the course of a loan. But if I wanted this vehicle, I really didn't have another option. So I put this in the con list, but it is good they have something, is that the car does come with a basic warranty. I don't really know how they came up with that one. Considering all of these pros and cons, I still went ahead and purchased the vehicle. And there was definitely some frustrating moments in the purchase process. Apparently their, website purchasing team and their insurance team don't really talk to each other. And when you have proof of insurance, it said it was okay to start coverage on the day you get the vehicle. But after, giving them a down payment, selecting everything, then I get an email saying, well, your insurance actually needs to start 2 days before your delivery. Well, who does that? Why would I insure a vehicle I've never even seen, never touched? Why would I be liable for that when it's in their possession? That just doesn't make sense to me. If you're watching this and in your insurance and you can explain that, please let me know in the comments below. But at first I chalked that up to just some kind of glitch, and then they called and said, well, they're not going to deliver my vehicle unless I change my insurance. I also purchased an insurance policy through the company that they recommend, just something separate from what we do from our home and auto, just to make it a little bit easier for the purchase process. They had no online way of changing the coverage. So you try to call the office and they're closed for a holiday. I was at work, but they were not. And good for them. I'm not complaining about that. I am glad that they were able to get the holiday off. However, that left me in the position of do this now or you don't get the car. So then I had to change back to our normal insurance and then drop the coverage and back and forth. All right, we get through all that. The car shows up, on time. But, right away I noticed, because I couldn't see the inspection in person, the tires looked a little iffy. It's something, had this been an in-person dealership, something I would have worked into the deal. Either a lower price or newer tires. So straight up on their website, they say if every car from Carvana comes with a half tank of fuel. Well, mine only came with a quarter. Also listed on the list, or listing on for the car, was that it had 2 extra keys to go with it. Well, where were they? The driver had no idea. He said, well, I'll put in a request and you get more. Well, they have it in the pictures. The driver put in a request. I did get an email, but shortly after the driver left, I found them stashed inside the car somewhere. So I will give Carvana credit for trying to make it right, but I feel like the delivery driver should have known where the keys were. But the biggest thing that bugged me is when the car showed up, it did not have a valid state inspection. And in all the pictures online, it showed inspection stickers. So it shows up and, I asked the guy, he's like, well, we didn't have time to do that. I don't know, that's a pretty standard thing. You buy any car from any dealer, you should have a valid state inspection. I shouldn't have to worry about that right away. I took it to a local shop and we got it taken care of. Everything's okay, but still. To be fair, I didn't reach out to their customer service. I'm pretty busy, so I just kind of let it go. It's like, whatever, I have a car, I'm done. That's my fault. So, like I said before, it has been 6 months since I purchased the vehicle, and overall the car has been good. It's a Subaru. They hold up pretty well, right? I'm getting 30 miles per gallon, which I've been able to save a lot of money over driving the truck. And the truck was a lease and has since gone back, so I've been saving even more money. Turned out I did a really good inspection of it afterwards. It's a relatively rust-free car. I don't see any crash damage. They give you a full Carfax report. There was something on it, but I can't tell where. But the one thing I will say is once we got just past that random warranty period that I said, the clutch started going on it. The car only had, 62,000 miles on it, and I've put a lot more mileage on clutches than that, so I don't know what the history of the car was. Was it a city car? Did they teach multiple people how to drive in it? I have no idea. But naturally, just after the warranty goes out, then the clutch goes. And that's not Carvana's fault. I can't hold any ill will against them for that. They have no control over that. That's okay. So at the end of all this, would I recommend to my friends and family to purchase a car from Carvana? If you really want a specific car with specific options and you just can't find one any other way, give them a shot. Take a look online, see what they have, see what they offer, see if it makes sense for you. However, if you ask me, would I tell my friends and family to buy a car off Carvana? Honestly, based on my experience, I would say no. But that's just me in one experience, and your mileage may vary. Have you bought a car off of Carvana? What was your experience like? Let me know down in the comments below.